No desvíes la mirada, quédate cerca de mí.
मुझको बाहों में तुम घेरो, समझी ना सेñorita. चाहत के दो पल भी मिल पाए, दुनिया में ये भी कम है क्या? दो पल को तो आओ खो जाए, पूरे हम होता हम है क्या सेñorita? सुनो सुनो सेñorita कहते हैं हम क्या?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you had an insightful and productive afternoon with our parallel tracks and partner sessions. Well, the moment that you all have been waiting for is here. But before I have the privilege of introducing the closing keynote speaker, I have an important announcement to make. During the coming session, clicking pictures or recording the session is strictly prohibited. May I please repeat again? During the coming session, clicking pictures or recording the session is strictly prohibited. So please refrain from doing so. Thank you so much. And now, to anchor the closing keynote address, ladies and gentlemen, let's put up a huge round of applause as I invite on stage none other than the Vice President and General Manager, Printing and Personal Systems, HP India, Mr. Rajiv Srivastava.
दुनिया में ये भी कम है क्या? दो पल को तो आओ खो जाए, पूरे हम होता हम है क्या सेñorita?
Good evening. Look, I heard a huge noise when that announcement was made, but yeah, not the pictures, but look, I know the secret is already out, but I have a very tough job to do right now. I have a tough job to introduce someone to you who needs absolutely no introduction. He needs no introduction in India. He needs no introduction in most parts of the world. Yeah. You know, I do remember reading a headline a couple of years ago, and it was a front page main newspaper headline where the Sensex was a bit dodgy in that year. It was going up and down a bit. And for the last 6 or 7 days, it was just headed south. It's just going down here. And one day, it just rose by 500 plus points on that morning. And the headline said, it's not the economy stupid, it is the Dash effect. And Dash obviously is the person I am referring to. Look, you know, the icon had just cracked one more century on the previous day for the effect to be seen on the economy. And that's the profound impact that we are talking about of that person. When he batted, a lot of us would just stay glued to our televisions and not move an inch. And you know the totkas we do in India, we don't move anywhere, and we just stay glued to the television. And almost the nation would come to a standstill, and there will be a complete standstill, and people celebrated with the icon. People celebrated the icon. And when he got out, there was almost a sense of disappointment, and as if the match lost, and you lost interest in the future proceedings of the game itself. So I think there's great sense of feeling that he generated in all of us, wonderful emotions that he generated in all of us. So look, the guy with the maximum number of one-day centuries, the guy with the maximum number of five-day centuries, guy with the maximum number of runs in one-day cricket, maximum number of runs in five-day cricket, Arjuna Awardee, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, Khel Ratna, Bharat Ratna. And please put your hands together for none other than Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar.
No desvíes la mirada, quédate cerca de mí.
मुझको बाहों में तुम घेरो, समझी ना सेñorita. चाहत के दो पल भी मिल पाए, दुनिया में ये भी कम है क्या? दो पल को तो आओ खो जाए, पूरे हम होता है क्या señorita? सुनो सुनो señorita कहते हैं हम क्या?
Jamás podré interpretar el sentido de las palabras que me dedican.
Thank you.
Guys, yes. Sachin. can we get started? Yeah. Such. Sachin. Guys, let me do a formal welcome and ask him, Sachin, how are you?
Namaskar. I'm keeping well. Thanks for this lovely reception. इतना reception Zimbabwe में test match खेलते तो उतना नहीं मिलता था. But it's been special. Thank you so very much for all this love.
You know, it's funny, Sachin. The event guys wanted me to introduce you. And I said, what? Why? Who do you introduce now? And judging by the applause, we clearly didn't need to. And this is, Sachin, this is the audience which is largely a technology audience. They run some of the largest technology practices for largest public and private sector corporations in the country. And I think they do a fantastic job. They do a job of making us more competitive. They do a job of making us more efficient, almost getting us ready to ride the future, which in my opinion will probably in more ways than one get dominated by technology. So I think, let me give you a big round of applause for the audience here. Have you had a chance to interact with the technology, only pure play technology audience earlier?
See, in 2003, computer entered our dressing room. And I said, what is this doing in the dressing room? Computer is not going to teach you how to play cricket. But over a period of time, I got to know more about how many things are accessible within seconds. And sometimes, when you have your strategic meetings, you are planning all your strategies, you're expressing your views, your thoughts to your fellow member in the team. And it's only by imagination. Earlier it was only imagination, whereas with the introduction of a laptop in the dressing room, we could instantly show him that for this particular batsman, these are the areas where you need to bowl, because these are the areas he is not so strong. But whereas before that, it was, I don't know, if I said something and what he understood, nobody knows. Yeah. And only after the game was over, he would say, "Arey, mujhe laga tune ye kaha tha." So that doesn't happen. There is no room for ifs and buts, whatever ki aisa hua, waisa hua, nothing like that. What you see, whatever I am showing you is what you see. So it's not imagination. And I thought that to me was really important. If you wanted to work on your technique, computer helped you. But also if you wanted to complicate your game, it helped you as well. So, you need to balance that out, find that right balance between, doing it just enough and not overcooking anything, because it's not just here in the kitchen, but also when you are thinking about your game. If you overthink, if you overanalyze, it doesn't work. You need to be in that right frame of mind. So I think with the help of a laptop in the dressing room, we were able to do those things.
Okay, cool, got it. I think that's a wonderful correlation of what happened prior to that and what happened later on. But the reason I asked that question was that we are technology people with all that you've faced from Waqar and Wasim and Lee and Gillespie and McGrath and Vaughns. We've got a very, very simple set of questions. So these are almost like a full toss you can dispatch anywhere on the ground. so you can do that. But the thing that I wanted to begin with is you've had an incredible 24-year, between 22 yards career. And what keeps you occupied and engaged these days?
Well, for 24 years, my family was waiting, ye kab khali hoga, when we'll get to spend time with him, and you're asking me that I should keep myself busy. No, I enjoyed that journey. It was fantastic. It was by choice. Nobody forced me. So when people talk about sacrifices and all that, I don't believe in that. It was by choice. I chose to become a cricketer, and I've had this incredible journey. But other than cricket now, post my retirement, the first thing I did was I spent a lot of time with my family. Till the time my family said कि जाओ अभी बाहर निकलो घर से. But it was good. I still remember the first thing I did the next morning was I got up, and just like I would in my hotel rooms, prepare a cup of tea. I like to do that because I find that really relaxing. So just a tea bag and a nice cup of tea, relaxed, reading newspapers, because when I played, that's something that I stayed away from. So I did all those things, and then moved on to the other things like attending these kind of events, mingling around with all the people who've supported me for a number of years, doing my commercial engagements, staying associated with sports. I've been part of Mumbai Indians, so I thoroughly enjoy working with youngsters, though not in the official capacity as such. There is no such thing for me as I am the official coach or a batting coach or whatever, but I just like to be accessible and spend time with them, impart my knowledge, make them a better cricketer. It's about understanding how one can get better and continue with that process. Also with football, with ISL, football has received tremendous response, and I thoroughly enjoyed being part of Kerala Blasters. It's a terrific place to play football, and we traveled all around our nation, and the kind of response that I experienced was incredible, and that's a clear-cut sign that India is ready to take all sports and appreciate them. And that is the best tonic any sportsman can get, because what you want is appreciation to go out and deliver and perform better. As a Rajya Sabha member, which sounds a little strange because I'm a nominated member, so extremely satisfying was when I adopted a village in Andhra Pradesh, and I spent a day with them, and I understood what their needs were, and it's something which is an ongoing process, because there are so many less fortunate people in India. The amount of help that you can extend is not enough for me as an individual. So if we all get together and do our bits and pieces and put our acts together, it can have a huge impact on our nation, and that's something which I want to do, because on a number of occasions I was asked, what are you going to do next? So my first innings was all about achieving my targets. It was about excitement, thrilling moments on the field, and chasing my target, which was winning the World Cup. And the second innings is all about giving it back to those who've supported me without any expectations. And that is, for me, second innings is all about satisfaction. And if I'm satisfied, if I've done something, then I'd be able to sleep well at night, thinking that my second innings has begun well.
Now that you mentioned about the dream of winning the World Cup, and look, I can tell you one thing, in the minds of every single Indian, that night of 2nd April 2011 is really etched supremely in the minds. It was a big dream for you. You've said it many times in a lot of your interviews. What was the feeling like with you, with the team?
Unbelievable journey, because I've had to wait for such a long time for this. 22 years is a very, very long time. Also, 2007 World Cup wasn't a great one for us, and the kind of reaction, not from Indians but also across the world, who had nothing to do with Indian cricket, was really unwanted, unwarranted. But then we were extremely determined under the leadership of Gary Kirsten, who was simply fantastic. Dhoni, a great leader, and the team that we had, whom everyone questioned in 2007, thinking that these guys are too old. And 4 years later, we were determined to go out and do something which was never achieved before. A host nation had never won the World Cup. So we wanted to do that. India being the host, everyone thought, no, it's someone else who's going to lift the trophy. And we started our journey, spending as much time as possible with each other, discussing cricket, sometimes not discussing cricket. We had one mental conditioner with us, Mike Horn, who was brilliant. Basically, he spoke about his experiences. He's a mountain climber and does all sorts of things, So to distract our mind and to not feel that pressure of playing the biggest tournament at home was critical factor for us. And he helped us. He showed positive light to us, and that started our journey. I still cannot forget the number of challenging moments that we experienced during that journey. But the moment we landed to play the finals in Mumbai, I had told my wife that I'll meet you along the way till we go to Taj Hotel. And then we drove together. I followed the team bus in my car. And we were going at nearly 40 kilometers an hour. And it felt completely different because they had blocked all the roads. Before the finals also, everything was different. And when we finished the finals, it was hard to believe that the tournament is over and we are the champions, because we were so focused on what we wanted to do and following our process, go step by step. It was almost impossible to believe that now there are no more games and the trophy is happily sitting in our dressing room. How many times do you see the entire nation celebrating? That was. We always have views on everything, be it sports, whether this guy is a better player or this guy is a better bowler, or this match was a better match, or politics as well. Everything we have opinion, but there was one thing where I thought it was the entire country who was celebrating, and this is, I think, the power of sport, which brought the entire nation together and enjoy that special moment. I remember my wife, I spoke to her after the game was over. She's superstitious, so she didn't want to be there inside the stadium. Can you imagine that? Exceptions, yes. But she said, I'm not going to watch. I'm only going to watch at home. And then she joined us in the dressing room. But before she could get there, all the cars which entered the stadium or around the stadium had those happy dents, because everyone was jumping on top of the roof and dancing on top of the cars. And the moment they spotted her, I said, not this car, bhai, is car ko chhod do, andar jane do. And the moment the car was out after dropping her inside the dressing room, we had those happy dents, and which the only time I was not so unhappy about having those dents on the car. So, those kind of experiences stay with you forever. And however much I describe now, to be actually there and experience it is something special.
No, I can relate to that, and thank you for giving the country so much of joy through that win and through many other wins that we've had. But did the party really last long?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, party lasted.
Or did you have many small ones?
No, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they said, I said I'm going to go to sleep now, because we were meeting the President of India the next day.
Yeah.
And I was fast asleep, and suddenly I heard a couple of guys knocking on the door at 7 o'clock in the morning. I think it was Zahir Khan and Ashish Nehra and a couple of other guys, UV and all that. I did the wisest thing by not opening the door and continued sleeping, because otherwise I would have been in trouble,
Okay, cool. I think not only with the cricketers, but I think the party happened with lots of us. I think that was nice. But I wanted to ask you a related question on just the fact of 24 years and between 22 years. It's looking back, and when you started, I'm sure there are no milestones. We don't set milestones for each other or for ourselves. But did you ever believe 100 hundreds was going to be a possibility? Because you got to go perform day in, day out, and it takes an incredible amount of stamina. People like us, and lots of us, would just probably say, give up, man, let's go on. But I don't know what motivated you to continue to be excelling in your field.
I don't know. I mean, see, 100 hundreds wasn't a target, to be honest. It's not about just going out there and scoring centuries. It's about satisfaction. I spoke about satisfaction. And it's about what I bring to the table as a team member. And when we sit in the dressing room, you exactly understand what your teammates are thinking. For the rest of the world, I might have done a terrible job because I've only scored 21 runs. But for my team, those 21 runs changed the game. And that is what matters. And vice versa. I mean, I may have scored runs, whatever, but if the team doesn't think highly of it, I better hide my face because I'm a team man and nothing comes above that for me. And while doing so, you're going to find individuals who will always contribute more than the other members because it's impossible to have all 6 batters score a brilliant 100. It's not going to happen. So whenever it happened and we won, it gave me tremendous satisfaction, confidence, and that tonic to go out and do something even more special in the next game. And above all, I thought the appreciation from all of you guys, whenever I hit a boundary or a 6, or even if I picked a single or if I walked out to bat, made me feel that, I should do something. I should do something out of the box, which you can be all proud of and I can be also proud of. In 2003, I remember, I think I must have scored just 60 hundreds or something like that at that time. And John Wright, who was our coach, we were traveling in South Africa that time. And John told me, we were sitting in the aircraft and John said, you got to be the first one to score 100 hundreds. Nobody has done that and I think you can do it. And I looked at John and I said, what have you been drinking? 100 hundreds, that's a big ask. And I don't know, I mean, I don't think I should be thinking of that right now. But he said, you might as well because you'd be the first one to do it. And, it will be special. The first ones will always be remembered. So from there, John spoke to me, but I forgot about it. There were so many things which happened in my life after that. There were a number of challenges with the kind of injuries that I had. Major surgeries which would alter my batting style, finger surgery, wrist surgery, shoulder, elbow, the list is endless. So, all those things affect you, not just physically but also mentally. And to overcome that wasn't easy. So, I was not thinking of 100 hundreds. I was asked about 100 hundreds some time ago, what was your feeling? The difference between your first 100 and your 100th 100. And I said that when I scored my first 100, I did not know that there were 99 more to go. And then when I was stuck for a while on 99 hundreds and I started getting advice from all directions, from housekeeping, room service, even while flying, captain would say, or whoever. I mean, everyone became an expert and trying to tell me how to score 100, not knowing that I had 99 behind me. So, yeah, I mean, it's a nice blend where you know that there are 99 behind you, and it was a good surprise that there were 99 in front of me, which I did not know. So, overall, it just makes you a complete cricketer. And it taught me a lot. That whole journey taught me a lot.
Yeah. And I think clearly one of the things we learned in injury, which wasn't so popular earlier, was the famous tennis elbow. No,
yeah, so many guys
I don't think so many of us knew about what
but
tennis.
I mean, so many guys started telling me that, the weight of your bat is too much and this and that. And I said, then why would it not happen earlier? It took 15 years for me to have a
injury of that
tennis elbow injury. But my bad luck was, to me, it happened at the start of the season. Right. And there were many guys, prominent batsmen, I don't want to name them, but to them, it happened at the end of the season. So, they got time for recovery, whereas I did not. I had to play the whole season. And you'd be surprised to know that in 2009, 2010, where I scored most amount of runs, I had a strap on my right elbow. The left elbow I got operated in 2005, so don't get confused. But that season started with a tennis elbow injury on my right elbow, and then immediately literally in 30 or 45 days, golfer's elbow also joined that. So nobody knows that. But the whole season I played with tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. Every time I batted, after that I would put my elbow in a bucket of ice for a good half an hour, numb it and train and do everything possible to manage that injury. And just that year I was lucky that it did not get as bad as my left tennis elbow. Yeah. But you learn to deal with injuries, most of the cricketers learn to play with injuries. They have niggles. It's just impossible to be 100% injury free.
Fit all the time, yeah. It's not.
Yeah, it's not possible because you are constantly pushing yourself and you are bound to carry niggles.
Right.
And it becomes part and parcel of your career.
And just a related question to the journey of 100 hundreds, and I know it's not something that you look forward to, but is there we are looking for inspiration in lives. Is there an inspiration for you as well? Something, somebody, person, whatever, personality, anything.
Inspiration, I think, I was and I am still madly in love with cricket. I did not need any external factor to motivate me. There's a number of occasions people ask me what motivates you, and my question to them was what demotivates you. If you care and love, you're passionate about something, you should not be demotivated, or you should not need anyone to come and motivate you. You need someone to guide you. You need someone to guide that, it should be a channelized energy in the right direction. You should be finding solutions and not focusing more on problems. And that's what I did. In difficult times, I focused more on solutions. I focused more on positive things, because even if I've scored 100, there would still be moments where I've not batted well. So if I'm constantly, criticize myself and look at the things which I have not been able to do, you might be whoever, even if today the greatest of the player, if he wants to look at his batting, he'll still find some, weak areas in the game. But then the champions always focus on what are the things which they can do and what are the things which they can do consistently. And that is what I tried to do. I tried to keep things simple. The more you complicate, like earlier I said, I know this is a wrong platform to say, but the more you complicate with the help of computer, it will get complicated. But as long as you're looking to take as much as you want from it, you are going to benefit for sure. So I just tried to do that. I tried to keep things simple.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. I think, and since you mentioned the point about how do you keep looking at what you can improve upon, my next question is related to your reinvention. We tracked your 15,921 runs in Test cricket. We tracked every 1,000 of them, and I think the journey between 13 to 14,000 was probably the fastest for you. And you were at a time when you were 37 years old. People at that age start to get tons of questions about their age, their fitness, their longevity, their survival. But it seemed like you were always wanting to and willing to reinvent yourself. And talk to us about your reinvention and your innovation in your batting techniques and styles.
I remember I was first time asked a question on retirement in 2005.
All right.
So I said, maybe you are in the wrong press conference, my friend. But to me, age should not be a factor. There should not be any question marks there. Because I started when I was 16, I went to Pakistan, and I was playing then the best bowling attack in the world. Imran, Wasim, Waqar, Abdul Qadir. You're going to find very, very few attacks better than that or as good as that. It's right up there as good as anyone else. Any era you compare. I never thought that I am 16 and Imran is 35 and Wasim is 24. They should be soft on me. No way. I mean, neither did I want to be soft. You want to go out and compete, and I always felt that I was good enough to tackle all that, barring my first game, because after I got out in the first match, I actually started questioning my ability. And the next game I batted, I scored runs, and after that I've never questioned my ability or my capability to handle that pressure. I felt there were a lot of questions raised that, whether he needs to be part of one-day team or not, and whether he should retire and those kind of things. But those kind of things are always going to happen when you don't do well and you are 35 plus. I was not focusing on all those things. I was just focusing on what I wanted to do, and I knew exactly what I was capable of doing. I scored the first double hundred in the history of one-day cricket at the age of 37. It was, I think, 2010, I think, 9 or 10. So by no means I was a youngster, but by no means I was unfit. I mean, if I could play all 50 overs and run hard even in the last over, then I was fit enough to play any format. And that is how I looked at it. And it is not just about fitness. It is about what you also share with your senior colleagues, because there were so many big names in the team when I went to Pakistan. For first few days I was quiet, but then later on I started sharing my views with all the senior members, and it is about the more you talk cricket, the more you're going to learn, and that is the logic which I applied rather. And I felt that the more I discuss cricket, I will get to know more about cricket. And even if I feel that someone is not doing the right thing, I should tell them. And even towards the end of my career, the junior most player was always told in the middle that you better tell me if I'm making a mistake. Before I get out, you tell me, so I continue to bat with you. I don't want you to come to the dressing room and tell me that I thought that you were making this mistake, but I didn't want to tell you. I would be really upset with you. So it's about sharing your knowledge. It cannot be one-way traffic. It has to be always give and take, and you share knowledge, and that's how you become a better person. And I believed in doing that throughout my career. So age wasn't a factor at all for me.
And I got two related questions to that. One, you reinvent, so age is not a factor, but you still need to outsmart the competition, because competition over a time, which means the bowlers and the fielders, they figure out your style, and you got to reinvent or do some different strokes. So was the pedal sweep that you got or the uppercut that you got was part of the new innovation that you were out-thinking and outsmarting the opposition?
Yeah, sometimes you need to prepare beforehand, and sometimes you got to have that flexibility. Sometimes you got to be spontaneous. You got to have peripheral awareness where the game is going and how I need to bat and what the opposition is trying to plan. And try and be a step ahead of your opposition. I remember the paddle sweep. I never used to sweep earlier, but Australia was coming to India, and I knew that Shane Warne was going to go round the wicket at a critical moment. We played a practice game, a first-class game against Mumbai, played Australia at CCI, and we beat them in 2.5 days. I scored a double hundred. I scored a double hundred in less than a day. I batted really, really well, but I knew at the end of the day, Shane Warne hadn't bowled a single ball round the wicket. So all my friends were congratulating me and this and that, and I said, Shane Warne hasn't bowled round the wicket at all. And I know at a crunch moment, he's going to go round the wicket and he's going to bowl. And that is only going to happen in test cricket. It's not going to happen in side match. And rightly so, in Chennai, at a critical stage, Shane Warne goes round the wicket and bowls to me. And by then, before that series, I had practiced. I had got all the local guys to come and bowl to me, and I had created that rough outside leg stump, and I had made them bowl round the wicket into that rough. All the left arm spinners also were only allowed to bowl to me over the wicket in the rough. And I was practicing my attacking options and also my defending options to survive. If I had to kill time, then how should I pad the ball or how should I defend the ball, all those kind of options. So the moment Shane Warne went round the wicket in the second innings, I knew that, I obviously knew that this is a critical moment and I was expecting him to go round the wicket. And something just inside me told me that you need to take him on. This is the moment, it's a decisive moment, and if I, attack him and if I have the upper hand, then they're going to have a tough time. And it happened so. I was able to play some shots and we won that game. So for that, I had to prepare myself beforehand and be ready for that situation. But something which I did in South Africa, which was the uppercut, which was before the World Cup. Everyone keeps talking about that Shoaib Akhtar cut, which I played in 2003 World Cup. But even before that, we went to South Africa and I scored 100 at Bloemfontein, where we were batting and then we lost 4 early wickets. And there was a partnership between me and Sehwag. It was Sehwag's first match. And up front, their fast bowlers, Pollock, Nanty Hayward and Callis had bowled. And I knew that Makaya Ntini was going to come and bowl just on and around off stump, short of length here, coming in, cramping me to play any shot and just basically try and get me out from there with no third man. So there and then I decided, what if I start playing uppercut, just guide the ball over slips. That means he has to remove some fielder and keep a fielder there, and if not, then he has to change his line and length. So I forced them to change their strategy. But that decision was made there and then. And along with me, I told Sehwag also, if you feel comfortable, this is the shot. And Sehwag has always had beautiful hands. People keep talking about his footwork. And I think his strength has been beautiful hands. So that was the first hand experience for me to see what Sehwag was capable of and what is in store for the rest of the world. So that was decided there and then. So you just got to have that flexibility to adjust and respond to the situation.
I think wonderful. And just it's fascinating how you can keep innovating and reinventing yourself. But Sachin, one of the things that I'm sure in the minds of all of us is you've been carrying the weight of 1.2 billion Indians forever. Tremendous amount of fame and adulation that go with it. But how do you deal with it? And also talk to us about the difficulties that come along with fame and adulation of this nature and expectations. Yeah.
No difficulties at all. No, just kidding. There are ups and downs in everyone's life. You need not be a cricketer just to have ups and downs. You could be any normal person. You have ups and downs. And for me also, those things happened. But what I enjoyed most was when I walked out to bat, the whole stadium, the entire nation, and all the supporters of Indian cricket expected something special from me. And I liked that feeling. That means they have faith in me. That means they believe that I can go out and do something. It would have been embarrassing to stand in front of 100,000 people and all of them are thinking he's good for nothing. I wouldn't want to be in that situation. So I felt I took that as a positive message. And something over a period of time I learned was that they are not standing on top of my head. They are with me in this. And when you change your thought process like this, suddenly you start feeling that force of, billion plus people. They are with you. They are not on top of your head. There were difficult moments in my life, and that is when my family, my parents, my brothers, my sister, my wife, kids, everyone, my in-laws, all the people who are close to me, my friends, coaches, they all played a fabulous role. Without their support, things wouldn't have been the same. I would not have been sitting in front of you. More so when I was injured, and there were a number of occasions when I thought my career was over, because During my tennis elbow injury, when I got operated for 4.5 months, I was not able to lift even a plastic bat. I was not able to hit a plastic ball. And from there, I had to take gradual steps and start playing. I still remember I went out to bat. Doctors had told me that give yourself 4 months. But I was, wanting to go back on field and start hitting the ball sooner than what they had told me. And there were literally 12, 13-year-old kids who were fielding. They were fielding like 15 yards away from me, and I'm smashing the ball, and they are comfortably stopping the ball. And which was, it gave me sleepless nights. And those were the moments when my close friends would come for a drive with me and calm me down, because I could not sleep at night. I thought, that's it. And all I would do was, I would pray to God that don't stop my career like this. Give me one more chance to go out and play. And those are the moments when you need your family members and your close ones around you to reassure you. My wife played a huge role in that. Because my first injury, major injury like this, happened after 15 years of international cricket. And just to have a doctor at home helps. I can tell you, to have a doctor at home is better option than eating apple a day. So those kind of things, make you a better person, a stronger person. And even if you've scored lots and lots of runs, number of hundreds, whatever, whatnot, you still need a solid team to stay behind you, your support team. And I'm sitting here only because of them and also because of you. I cannot forget, because you need, I feel when I've performed well, I needed people to share my happiness with. And that is when it multiplied. If you hadn't been there to share my happiness and felt happy for me, it's meaningless for me. So thank you very much for that.
I think so, yeah. Like I said earlier, Sachin, you've given us immense joy over the years, so I think that's great. But I just wanted to go back to that related question on adaptability and adjustment, because when you went to Pakistan, 1989, your first tour, you were the youngest member and you had very great legends on the team, Krish Srikanth, Ravi Shastri, Sanjay Manjrekar, a whole bunch of Sidhu, whole great couple players were there on the team. And you were the junior most, and they would have done something to induct you and make you comfortable. And over the years, I'm sure the roles would have reversed. You became, and there were people getting inducted. So talk to us about the challenges of making sure that the dressing room is well off, and how do you induct all of them?
I thought my first tour of Pakistan, I was so excited, first of all, only 16 and being part of the Indian team. And just few months before that, like maybe 24 months before that, I was as a ball boy sitting at Wankhede Stadium when 87 World Cup was played, in front of the dressing room, observing all those players. And suddenly I was sitting in the dressing room, part of that team. Made me feel special, and the players made me feel comfortable. I spoke a lot with a lot of guys, especially my post first test match inning conversation with Ravi Shastri and Chandu Borde. Chandu Borde at that time was our manager, and they told me what I need to do, and it had a positive effect on me, because I was completely out of place in the first test match. I was playing the best attack in the world, and I had never experienced such, genuine quick bowling, and how much time you get to react. And before I was reacting, the ball was passing me, and I again went back to the dressing room with a big question mark and with massive embarrassment while walking off the field. But they told me that, you were treating this like a school game. It's not a school game, and you are playing against the best bowlers in the world. You need to respect them for their skills. So learn to respect your opposition. If they are bowling well, give them their time and your time will come. But what you did was you didn't give yourself enough time. So if you get to play again, you got to give yourself enough time and things will settle down. And that is what exactly happened with me. And things changed, and after that I never questioned myself. I like to do the same thing with youngsters, that transition from the youngest member to the oldest member in a team. I've played with close to 100 players, Indian players I played with, which was fascinating. I thoroughly enjoyed that role, and then I got into that role of talking about batting and sharing my thoughts. If I observed something, be it the senior most player or the junior most player, I'm going to go and tell him. And I enjoyed that process. It started literally in 92, 93. And from there on, I've been sharing my thoughts. And I enjoyed that journey. And then slowly, we were not just in one team, but we were really, really close friends who understood each other, who understood each other's not just the game, but how we thought. And that can only happen if you interact with each other. And I've enjoyed that role, of not an unofficial coach, one can say, because I interacted, and even after I've retired, I've been fortunate enough that the players still feel free to contact me. And we've had a few sessions with players, but a low profile sessions where nobody is aware of, and we just talk to each other on cricket and discuss cricket and think about getting better, because that process, according to me, is never ending. It is an ongoing process, and you are always a student of this sport, and I prefer it that way, because even though I have not played, you get to learn so many things, and over a period of time you sometimes take things for granted, and you tend to oversee a lot of things, So it's a nice tonic for me as well, to be able to work with them closely and understand the newer generation psyche as well.
But did you get to learn from them a lot?
Yes, I do, because cricket has changed, and not just cricket, any other sport. You see 100 meters. Earlier the record was 10 plus something, and now it's 9 point something. So things have changed along the way, and so has cricket. With the introduction of T20 format, the game has changed. With you must have seen also the kind of shots these guys play. It's different. I don't think 10 years ago anyone played a reverse sweep of a fast bowler and it went for a 6 at third man. It didn't happen, but that is what is happening now. Maybe I still remember making a statement in 2001 or so, when Andy Flower from Zimbabwe came to India and scored a couple of double hundreds, and he started playing reverse sweep to our spinners. And I said, Andy Flower is 10 years ahead of everyone else as far as reverse sweep is concerned. And today reverse sweep has become a common shot. So similarly, right now they are playing a reverse sweep of fast bowlers, and 10 years from now it would become a common shot, and maybe 10 years from now there'd be some other shot that the batters would be playing, which we are not aware of today. So that is the beauty of T20 as well.
Yeah, but and I know you answered the question on technology earlier, but is there also the technology on bat manufacturing is changed, or bowling, or anything? The fitness regimes have changed that is helping people to be that much more ahead and advanced?
Yes, I think the bats have definitely changed along the way. They've become better and better. Wickets have become flatter and flatter. I cannot complain as a batsman. But I think, with technology, things are going to get better and better. ICC, I know that they were discussing about, thinking if they could change the ball, they could do something with the ball, because the bats have become better and better. The ball needs to get better. So maybe that might be one thing which they might address, because on that panel there are quite a few bowlers.
Yeah. And Sachin, I know you mentioned the point about highs and lows, and they are really a part of each one of our lives. We go through them. But as a sportsman, when the nation is focused on you, how do you get on the deck when you're down here? You just got to go and play a next day, a wonderful innings, and people are expecting you to perform. But how do you get on the deck?
We all start, I hate to call it profession, we live our passion for whatever we want to be in life because we care about it, we love it. And that's how cricket started for me. It was like oxygen. Without cricket, it was difficult to survive. And it all started because I loved playing cricket. And along the way, what happens because of your number of challenges, number of obstacles, expectations, pressures, you forget to enjoy cricket. And it happened to me around that tennis elbow time when I was only looking at what is going wrong with my body and I'm not enjoying sport, I'm not batting well and all those kind of things, and today I have to go out and do this and do that. I had forgotten to enjoy playing cricket. And that injury sort of helped because I was playing few practice games in England. And those exhibition games, there were not as many media guys and cameras and all those things. People had just come to enjoy. And there, while fielding, I figured out, oh, I've forgotten this feeling. I've forgotten to stay in love with cricket. And that is what brought out the best in me. That is what produced good results. So, whenever, I share, even in the last few days, I shared the same thing with Mumbai Indians, that don't forget to stay in love with cricket. There'll be a lot of expectations. Yes, when you're not playing well, you think of number of challenges, and I have to do this and that. But above all, if you are in love with cricket, enjoy being out there in the middle, and that will help you overcome most of the obstacles, or that will allow you to find solutions. Don't focus on problems. And that's what I did throughout my career. There were few occasions along the way where I didn't think otherwise, but whenever I thought like that, I was in a better space.
You got great results. So I think, it's relevant. What you love and you're passionate about doing what you do and enjoy is probably getting you great results. But I just wanted to get your sense of mental preparations. One innings of yours, which I think a lot of us would remember, is that famous double 100 in Sydney. And you did not score one stroke on the offside. God knows for what were you, but it does require a different kind of a mental approach to prepare and score only on one side of the wicket, and especially for a person like you when you got multiple shots to every ball. And how do you tune and how do you get into that zone?
See, earlier I spoke about what you bring to the table is important. I was batting well just before we went to Australia that time. We had played Australia in India and New Zealand, and I had really done well. And I was feeling great. I go to Australia and immediately first match I get a bad decision. I need not mention the umpire, you guys should know it. That sort of, frustrated me. In the second innings, in the second match rather, I got out early in the first innings playing a big cover drive. I was batting well. But I think again, I earlier spoke about respecting your opponent, and I thought, whatever I tried to do was a bit too early to do that, and I should have waited for a while. But I paid a heavy price for that. Boxing Day Test match, I got out first ball flicking down the leg to Brett Lee, which is, if I tried 1,000 times, I may not be able to do it, but such is sport, when you have tough times, then everything is going to go wrong, and you just have to take it in your stride and stay positive. I got out again in Melbourne. I was batting really well, got out on 40 something for playing a big cover drive again, and post that I had a discussion with my brother on the phone. And brother said, bowlers are not getting you out. You are getting out. Your shot selection is not right. So you need to look at yourself closely. There is no weakness, but there is maybe weakness in your shot selection. And just look at the shots where you've been dismissed. And there were a couple of times where I played big cover drive and I got out. And Australian thinking was that just bowl as away as possible and make him leave, and some stage he's going to hit. So it was more about mental discipline than anything else, and execution of what I plan, what I decide to do. So I decided that the challenge was, I'm not going to play that cover drive. So brother said that, can you give yourself one more challenge, which is that you're not going to get out. Decide that you're not going to get out, because the bowlers are not being able to get you out. You are getting out. So let them bowl a wicket taking ball, and let's see if someone is capable of bowling a wicket taking ball to you. So I went in with that mindset that I'm not going to get out in this test match. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to look at the scoreboard. Whatever score I'm batting on, it really doesn't matter. But there are certain shots I'm not going to play. And that certain shot was cover drive. Said, even if I'm batting on 165, I'm not going to play cover drive. And that's what I did. I mean, I batted for 10.5 hours without playing a single cover drive. There wasn't a single cover drive boundary, because I had planned. I said, okay, if you're going to bowl away from me, you're going to play with my patience, I'm prepared to play with your patience. Wow. Let's see who lasts longer. So, as I said, keep your thought process simple, and I kept it simple. Don't play cover drive.
Perfection. Execute to perfection. Just on the topic of centuries, couch experts like us, we always rate your centuries all the time. Which one is the better one? But any most memorable knock from your perspective, Sachin?
The most memorable one has to be Chennai. Chennai century in 2008.
England?
No, against England.
Okay.
In 2008, when the bomb blast took place in Mumbai, it shocked the entire nation, and the tour was called off. England went to Dubai, and then graciously came back to play the test series, because they left the ODI series and they came back to play, and which was really important for Indian cricket. So I would like to applaud England for that. And no player was in the frame of mind to play, because you're constantly thinking about that, and it was hard to believe that all this thing is actually happening to us. We thought we were actually watching a movie. So for first 3.5 days, England dominated that test match, and then suddenly after 3.5 days, we started getting back in action. And Zahir bowled incredible spell, and we were set a target of 374 in the 4th innings on a difficult track, and the bowling attack was also top class bowling attack. Harmison, Anderson, Flintoff, Graham Swan and Monty Panesar. So, a solid attack. Sehwag and Gautam Gambhir batted really well first evening. And next morning we started, Flintoff got a wicket, I think quite early. I think in the first 2-3 overs he got a wicket. I walked out to bat. I had a partnership with VVS Lakshman first, and then with UV. But after we won that game, I saw there were groundsmen always celebrate. The whole all the stands are jumping around and celebrating our victory. But this was the first time I saw a groundswoman who was excited and jumping with joy, which told me that the entire nation needed this. And after what had happened in Mumbai, I felt even if for a fraction we were able to give them a reason to smile, it was Indian team's most important victory, and that's why I felt that innings in my life was the most important innings, which allowed nation to smile for a second. But by no means I'm saying that the damage caused and the lives lost, that is an irreparable damage. So that damage is for forever. It's a permanent damage.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was, we all remember the time in a very sad way. But just to take it away from how, from a team building perspective, you get wonderfully talented players on the team, great individual performers, but weaving them into a world-beating team is altogether a different thing. Yeah. And how does that get done as a process? Or
I think it boils down to man management, and I think that is important. You know, coach plays a big role in that. Coach should be your friend. When you don't trust your coach, then things don't work. When you don't trust your leader, then things don't work. But the moment the leader becomes your friend, because at this stage, you know, when somebody is playing for India, you need not teach someone how to play a cover drive or how to bowl an outswinger. They know it. But then you need someone to make you believe that you are the best player in the world when you are crossing the rope and walking out to bat. And you are the only one who can win this game for India. And you need someone like that. And that is what I felt good coaches are all about. I had terrific experience with a lot of coaches, a lot of Indian coaches and a lot of foreign coaches, and not so great experience with a few coaches around. You got the name right. So you know, you need friends basically, and that really helps. You know, the day I know that whatever I say to my coach is going to stay in that room and not going to be sent to media the next moment, then I start trusting that coach, and I start having that relationship with coach where it's a give and take relationship. You're not going to backstab each other, and that atmosphere in any team, not just a cricket team, but even your organization, to have that positive energy flowing, knowing that if I'm having a tough time, my colleague, my coach, or whoever, my teammate is prepared to sacrifice certain things for me, and he'll help me, he'll accept more challenges, he'll go through tough time for me. So those kind of things are important, and the moment you build that rapport, I felt in 2007 the team was really good, but that energy was missing. I felt at 2011 the same players were there more or less, but the energy was so positive and vibrant. It produced incredible results, and then it's just that. I mean, it's simple.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Often we miss the significance of a great coach or a great leader.
It boils down to man management.
Man management.
Understanding individuals.
Clearly. Got it. Sachin, that brings me pretty much towards my last important question with you. On, you know, in the minds of all of us, cricket and Sachin seem like absolutely inseparable. And I know you are engaged in adoption of the village, you are engaged in many other education and lighting initiatives. What next are you looking at? Do we see Sachin as the coach of the Indian team, Sachin as the mentor of the Indian team, or Sachin as going around and finding one more Sachin, the next generation? What's going on?
There is so much on the plate right now that, you know, whatever I have on my plate, I need to do justice to that rather than, you know, committing to something which I don't know right now. I think there are a lot of things which I'd like to do. One is to have something which is really dear to me, is to build a sporting culture in our nation, you know, where from the grassroots level, I would like to see children engage themselves in outdoor sports and not just exercise their thumbs, you know, playing video games. It doesn't work, I feel, and it is about a mindset, change of that mindset where you start leading healthy lifestyle. One record which I feel we shouldn't be proud of is we've got 75 million plus diabetic patients in India. So that number has to come down, and that number will not come down if you continue to sit in one spot with, playing video games and those kind of things. We need to engage ourselves in outdoor activity, be more active. Also, something which I believe is important for the younger generation is to understand the importance of a good diet and what the leading sportsmen, not just of this generation, but from way back in 40s and 50s, we've produced some great sports personalities, to make them understand about them. I mean, why should they not know about our Indian great sportsmen? I think it's important, and everyone felt so good when we saw Bhag Milkha Bhag, the great athlete of India, Mary Kom, and so many. I mean, so I think in schools also, if we can educate them about our past sportsmen and make them understand how challenging it was, it gives a different perspective to life. You don't shy away from challenges, you find solutions, because so and so also did that. And those are the examples we need to keep in front of our next generation and change our nation and make it into a more sporty nation, sports loving nation, and also playing, not just sitting in one spot and admiring what someone else does, but we can also do it. Nothing is impossible. So that is something which I would like to introduce.
Fantastic. Sachin, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. Wonderful, and on behalf of everyone, I just want to give you a wonderful round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys,
Thank you.
I got Sachin for a few more moments on the stage. He's got to give out the lucky draw winners, and there are 3 of them. They will get their lucky draws from Sachin. And let me announce the names. The first name starts with A, Anushka Gupte from Tech Mahindra. Do we have Anushka in the... Anushka, not there? Okay.
Maybe Anil can come up then.
Okay, the next one is Radhika Kopikar from Tata Motors. And look, we are not being gender biased over here, but but is Radhika around? Anyone from Tata Motors is here, then I can hand it over to... Hey, she's here. Sachin.
Lovely meeting you. Thank you.
So special.
All the very best.
Okay, then I have Vinay Morge from Aditya Birla Group. Vinay is here, somewhere in the crowd. Hey, Vinay is coming, come up. And guys, these are Voice Tab 6, the HP phone cum tablet, wonderful devices. I use one, and you all should look forward to getting one. Outstanding stuff. Photograph. You can take a photograph with Sachin. Wonderful. Well done. Okay, since we have one absentee, I got to give one more. This is Anant Podar from Bombay Stock Exchange. Do we have Anant? Sorry? You are his boss? Please. Yay! Anant, Sachin.
Okay. Can you manage it? Oh. Don't want to go down. Down. Come, we can both hold.
Thank you.
Don't worry, this is with 2 SIM
Look.
cards.
Where is my... It's coming. Look, I need to do one little thing, a little bit of token of our appreciation to Sachin, and I want to give you my... this is the HP X2 Spectre, which is the latest and the We just launched Sachin this. This is the most recent one. I don't know how much technology do you use.
Now that you've given me, I will.
Well said. Well said. This
All right.
is for you, Sachin.
Thank
This is for
you.
you. Right now.
Thank you.
And there's my customary.
All right. Oh, thank you.
Sachin,
Thank you very much.
Sachin, what a pleasure to have
No, it was nice.
you. Just outstanding. Wonderful. Thank you so much for doing this.
Fantastic.
I just want to do a
Yeah,
Gale Milan with you.
Thank you. Lovely. Thank you very much once again.
Well, ladies and
All the
gentlemen,
best
the
of
love, the madness, the passion of India, adored as the god of cricket, Mr. Sachin Tendulkar. We can have a bigger round of applause, everyone.
इसका case दे देना. Sachin will get it installed. You let us know we'll get it installed at your home. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right.
May we please request everyone to wait here for a minute before we disperse?
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic having Sachin and getting him to share his experiences and views. We've got the evening continuing. We got the drinks outside. So please join us for drinks in the evening. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been a fabulous audience. Please give yourself a big round of applause. Please join us for the cocktails and snacks outside, and please submit your feedback forms at the registration counter and collect a token of appreciation from HP. Do join us for networking reception at the Technology Showcase. This is Ada Khan signing off. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
Samjina, señorita.